Hi there, just a few thoughts on the sequencing in the backswing, and a little bit of a sort of a theory that you might not have thought about before. Um, just to run through it, what we've got, if we split up into different elements, we've got the club head, and the club head obviously travels from down on the floor to the top of the backswing. So if we said that the top of the backswing is going to be somewhere around here, sort of here, here, some people a bit shorter, in this sort of area, it would be defined as the top of the backswing. The club head travels the biggest journey. The grip end, handle end, travels on a slightly smaller journey. The reason for that is because we obviously have a little wrist cup there, so it gets the head end traveling further. The shoulders then travel from here to here. So if you think about that left shoulder, it travels from there to a point somewhere under my chin. And obviously then the hips and the knees will travel the smallest journey. They travel from there at the start to about there at the top, roughly. Let's say that. So what we want to try and do at the start of the swing is not have a too much of a rigid one piece takeaway. So we've got no wrist cock, no right arm bend. So we've done all of our turn, or a lot of our turn, by the time the arms are here. The problem I see with that is if we get loads of turn, no setting or bending of the wrist and arm, then we see players do it all at the end. And actually, they get out of sync with their body parts there because they get all their rotation early and then all the cocking late. And what I see a lot of people do then is overswing, and they sort of get this little bounce effect at the top of the swing there. Normally, nothing, then all of it, and then we see a cast starting the way down. So basically, that player would be way out of sequence. They wouldn't be moving their body and club at the right time, the appropriate time. So what I want you to feel is that you don't have so much of a massively rigid arms and club, lots of turn by this point to then only do a lot of wrist and lift and bend here. Try and feel that you can actually get a little bit of swing here. So you see that it isn't actually massively stiff and rigid, certainly not. There's certainly, even by this hip high back point, a little cocking of the wrist. At this point, you'd notice that there's not masses of hip turn either, because if I get, as I said on the previous video, if I get lots of hip turn early, it's very easy to get that club going too much to the inside. So let's get an early swinging. You'll feel the weight of the club. You'll feel the certain smoothness to it all. So by the time you get to here, you've got about the right amount of all the things. A little turn in the legs, about half the turn, 3/4 of the turn in the shoulders, and then a full set of the right arm and wrist. From here, you've done all of this cocking action. You don't need to do any more. From here, you're just going to now do a little chest turn to complete the package. So now we've arrived the club at the top, the right sequence and the right order for you to then start your downswing intent. We get too much of one of the ingredients early, we get loads of the other one late, vice versa. So